Once again, welcome to all of you for the lecture in physics. Our today's topic is MSTCET 2016. Three problems are associated with that circular motion topic in our syllabus. Just let me begin with the first problem. A particle moves along a circle. As soon as you read these wordings in that problem, you have to draw a circle in which a particle is revolving. Okay, of radius r, you have to mention radius of this circle is equal to r. Then what next? With constant tangential acceleration. The tangential acceleration means the acceleration is along the tangent drawn to the circle, and a tangent is nothing but a straight line, that's why it is a linear acceleration. We are very much familiar about the word acceleration in circular motion. There are three types of acceleration. One is linear acceleration along the tangent if it is a non-uniform circular motion. A linear acceleration towards the center called as centripetal acceleration, and angular acceleration alpha. But right now they are mentioning tangential acceleration. It is the linear acceleration which is along the tangent, whatever I have shown in this diagram. It is a linear acceleration. Okay. If velocity of the particle is v at the end of second revolution, let's imagine that this particle is revolving along the circle with the different revolutions. If I am starting its motion from this point, then this will be its first revolution, second revolution, third revolution, fourth and fifth and so on. What he mentioned there, velocity of the particle is v. V is its velocity, but when? At the end of second revolution. After completion of two revolution, it attains velocity v. Means what? This is the first revolution, this is second revolution, then after v is velocity of that particle at that moment. After start, actually, when there is a word after start, means after starting its motion, initially it is at rest with initial velocity u equal to 0. This is the meaning of these two words, after start. Then what next? Then tangential acceleration is, ultimately he is asking you tangential acceleration at, means this is question mark in front of you for that problem, and these are options in front of you. So as to solve this problem, you have to pause this video and try to solve on your own self. I hope you have think properly in this fashion, and let me explain that problem with proper answer. Actually, while solving this problem so as to determine this tangential acceleration, you have to remember the kinematical equations in linear motion as well as kinematical equation is circular motion or rotational motion. Which are those kinematical equation? The first one is v is equal to u plus at. This is the first one. And correspondingly analogous equation omega 2 equal to omega 1 plus alpha t. But as this equation consists of time t, we should not consider that equation. What is the next one? Next one is s is equal to ut plus half at square in linear motion, and in circular motion theta is equal to omega 1 t plus half alpha t square. Even here is also time t. So you have to think about the last one. Which one is that? V square is equal to u square plus twice as. With the help of this equation or analogous third kinematical equation for circular motion is omega 2 square is equal to omega 1 square plus twice alpha theta. Any one equation can be used to solve this problem to obtain tangential acceleration. You may think how one can obtain the tangential acceleration from this expression also. You know very well that the tangential acceleration is related to angular acceleration alpha by the formula at is equal to r into alpha. And simply what you have to do, you have to transfer this r to the left hand side, at upon r equal to alpha, and you have to keep that value somewhere here. So I can solve this problem with the help of these two equations. You have to make this video pause here and try to solve this problem by proper thinking. I hope you are doing that. Let me begin with the first expression to solve this problem. V square means final velocity square. V square is equal to u square means initial velocity. As it is starting its motion, its initial velocity u equal to 0, u square equal to 0, plus twice a. A is now tangential acceleration. Then s is nothing but a displacement, or you may say distance here. So you can think here, whenever the body, the particle complete one revolution, this much amount of distance is covered by the body. And what is the distance per one revolution? Actually it is equal to circumference of that circle. Per one revolution, the circumference of the circle means that distance is equal to 2 pi r. And for two revolution, if it is for the first revolution it is twice pi r, for the second revolution again twice pi r, means the total displacement for second revolution along with the first one is also 2 times twice pi r is the total distance covered by the body or total displacement of the body. If I am going to put the value of s as 2 into twice pi r here, what I got, v square is equal to 0, leave that, twice a, at is equal to be determined, s equal to 2 into twice pi r. So finally what I got the answer, 2 into 2 into 2, it is equal to 8, means v square is equal to 8 pi r into 80. This 8 pi r can be transferred to the left hand side. V square upon 8 pi r is equal to 80. This is what they are expecting. This is the tangential acceleration for that circular motion. This is the final answer. Okay. So let me do the same problem with the help of second equation in terms of circular motion. As you know very well that omega 2 square means it is related with the final velocity v, and as v equal to r into omega, then squaring on both sides comes out to be v square is equal to r square into omega square. So I can prepare the value of omega square as v square upon r square. Okay, what I have to do, I have to put the value of omega square somewhere here and here also. Let me begin with omega 2 square. Omega 2 square means the final angular velocity omega 1 and this omega 2. Omega 2 is related to the final velocity v. So omega 2 square should be equal to v square upon r. And what's about omega 1 square? Omega 1 square means at the start of that motion velocity equal to 0, therefore omega 1 square is also 0. Alpha is equal to at upon r. Simply put these three terms here. What I got, omega 2 square means v square upon r is equal to omega 1 square means 0 plus 2 as it is into alpha. Alpha is equal to 80 upon r into theta. Now you know very well that theta is angular displacement. For one revolution it is equal to twice pi. For second revolution again equal to twice pi. Means for the two revolutions, second revolutions, from beginning from the start, the total angular displacement theta is equal to twice pi into 2. This is the value of theta I have to keep here. So after rearranging this equation, what I got, r get cancelled here. V square is equal to 2 into 2 into 2, 8 pi, and sorry I made a mistake here, omega 2 square equal to v square upon r square, v square upon r square. There is r actually into 80. This 8 pi can be transferred to the denominator, v square upon 8 pi r equal to 80. So this is how you can use either first equation, linear kinematical equation, or second equation, angular kinematical equation, so as to obtain the final value of 80 as v square upon 8 pi r. So this is the final conclusion or end of the first problem. V square upon 8 pi r will be the answer of that question. Let us now discuss the second example or problem. That problem is angular speed of hour hand of a clock. As soon as you read this problem, you have to imagine that there is a clock in front of you. Okay, and you know very well that a clock has different hands: second hand, minute hand, and hour hand. There are three hands. Okay, actually they are going to represent about the hour hand. There is a timing of 12, then 3, 6 and 9. Somehow you can imagine this is the clock. Angular speed of hour hand of a clock in degree per second is, means actually they are directly asking you the question about angular speed, means omega, about the of hour hand. This problem can be solved with the help of two equations. Once again, two ways. Angular velocity omega is rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time, means d theta upon dt. This is our expression for angular velocity. Again, this can be represented as simply theta, angular displacement per unit time. And if it is a uniform circular motion, then theta can be represented as twice pi upon t, means the time required for one revolution is capital T. It is period of revolutions. Either you have to use omega equal to theta upon t or omega equal to twice pi upon t. You can solve this problem in this way. So how one can solve this problem? Let me begin with omega equal to theta upon t. Theta means what? The angle traced by radius vector at center. They are going to ask you the angular speed. That's why I have written here omega equal to theta upon t. If I am going to consider for our hand, the smaller one, the thicker one, it has completed one revolution, and the time required for one revolution is called as period. That is small t equal to capital T. Time required for one complete revolution, for one complete circle, for the hour hand. Okay, theta is angular displacement. For our hand, for in one revolution, it complete pi and again pi, means total angular displacement in one revolution is twice pi. That's why theta equal to twice pi here. What I have to do here, this is the time required for one revolution for the hour hand. Our hand completes one revolution in how many time, actually how many minutes, how many seconds, or how many hours. I have to consider that. It is equal to, just in this fashion, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. Means for our hand it takes 12 hour. So omega is equal to twice pi upon 12 hour. But the final answer is asked in terms of degree per second. It is in terms of pi is in terms of radian, and that of hour, radian per hour should be converted into degree per second. How that can be converted? You have to do that thing in this fashion. Omega is equal to 2 into pi. Pi is 3.14 radian, but pi equal to 180 degree because they are going to ask you in terms of degree. 2 into 180 upon 12 hour can be converted into minute by multiplying 60 it. Again 12 into 60 minute can be converted into second by multiplying it again by 60. Now the numerator part is in terms of degree and the denominator part is in terms of second. Degree per second will be the unit of this quantity. Because they have asked you the answer in terms of degree per second. So let me calculate this. Omega equal to, here one of the 0 get cancelled. This 6 into 6 is 36 and 18 into 2 is 36. 36 get cancelled and finally what we got, 12 into this 10 means it is 1 upon 120 degree per second. This will be my final answer of that question. Means this is what we are searching for. C is the final answer of that question. Talk about the last one. This is the second problem. Talk about the last problem associated for the CT examination in 2016. What is that? The third problem stands for in vertical circular motion. As I said earlier, as soon as you are going to read the problem, you have to draw the diagram. This is the circular motion, which is vertical one. You can imagine that there is a thread and stone is attached to that thread and you are revolving that stone with the help of thread in vertical circle like this. In this fashion, it is revolving. At a time, what happened in vertical circular motion, whenever it is moving along anti-clockwise direction, then the stone will appear not simply here, but here as well, here as well, here as well. These are different positions along vertical circle for the stone or for that particle. In vertical circular motion, the ratio of kinetic energy of a particle, they are going to ask you the ratio of kinetic energies. But I have to tell you that here when the body is circular motion, it possesses velocity, tangential velocity v. Here, here as well, here as well and here as well. Because of velocities, it possesses kinetic energy and kinetic energy is given by the expression kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. But what is the question? In vertical circular motion, the ratio of kinetic energy of a particle at highest point means the kinetic energy of the particle at lowest point. These are different points. This is the lowest point. It moves in the upward direction. This is the top point or highest point, again the middle point and again the lowest point. In vertical circular motion, the body is moving from lowest to the highest, from highest to the lowest, lowest to the highest, highest to the lowest. It is also called as bottom point and top point. Means what they are going to ask you, the kinetic energy of at this highest point is kinetic energy 1 and at lowest point it is kinetic energy 2. Okay, and they have asked you the ratio of these two kinetic energy. Kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2. This is the required quantity. This is question mark in front of us. What does it mean? Here there are different kinetic energies because the velocities are different. Here it is v1 and here it is v2. Velocity at the bottom or lowest point is v2 and velocity at the top is v1. In vertical circle, the velocity at the top point v1 is equal to under root of rg. You are very much familiar about this expression. And velocity at the bottom point is, at the lowest point is somewhere here. At top point, at the highest point is A, at the bottom point is B. At the bottom point, velocity V2 is equal to under root of 5rg. So these are the two velocities at top point, highest point, to the bottom point or lowest point. These are two respective velocities. So the kinetic energy associated with this velocity is expressed in this fashion. Kinetic energy 1 equal to half m v1 square. Half m v1 square. And kinetic energy of the same particle, means same mass, at the bottom point is kinetic energy 2 is half m v2 square. You have to take the ratio of these two kinetic energy. Kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2 equal to half m v1 square upon half m v2 square. Here half m get cancelled. So finally what we got? We got kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2 equal to v1 square upon v2 square. As I said earlier, v1 is equal to under root of rg, therefore v1 square equal to simply rg, removing that square root. And v2 square, sorry, it should be square. v2 equal to under root of 5rg, therefore v2 square should be equal to simply 5rg without any square root. So kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2 equal to v1 square. v1 square means under root of rg bracket square, under root get cancel, simply rg, upon v2 square. Upon v2 square means under root of 5rg bracket square, square root get cancel, we get v2 square equal to simply 5rg. Here rg get cancel, and finally we came to know that kinetic energy 1 upon kinetic energy 2 is 1 upon 5, and 1 upon 5 is nothing but 0.2. And finally we got the answer. Ratio of kinetic energy of the particle at top position to the kinetic energy of the particle at lowest position is 1 by 5 or simply 0.2. And the options are D. Among these the option is D, that is 0.2. So this is how you can solve this problem in circular motion with this different expression. My prime suggestion to you that whenever you are going to solve this problem, initially you have to remember the formula, try to draw the diagram, and then after you can got the correct answer finally. I hope you understood this part. See you next time.